Hello everyone, and welcome back to JackDoesGaming, the channel where all your favourite nostalgic games are going to be critiqued, but a trip down memory lane is ultimately why we do this, and today we're going to be talking about a fairly divisive game, Marvel's Avengers. It was released in 2020 and was published by Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics. Now, this game, back when it first came out, it was released on PS4 and Xbox One, and then it got a later update and was released on PS5 and Xbox Series. It did also come out on PC. This game, when it first came out, it was fairly divisive. There was a lot they did right, there was also a lot that they did wrong. For me, I enjoyed my time with it, I thought the story was great, but that's about it. But you're going to hear a lot more about what I have to say about this game in this video, and I'm going to see if my opinion has changed on it. Maybe your opinion will change on it. But this game went offline in 2023, and let's see how it holds up. So before we get started, I just wanted to give a special thanks to everybody who has checked out the channel as of late. We are now on 78 subscribers. We've gone up from 74 over the past couple of days, which is huge. The reels that I've been doing, you know, showcasing the new killer on Dead by Daylight, the Tokyo Ghoul crossover. I just want to give a big thanks to everybody who has shown the love, shown the support, and helped this channel grow. Ever since I've been doing this review sort of format, it's reignited a love for content creation. A big shout out to Analog Digital, who you will see in the comments below. He has helped me out massively in terms of getting things in order and organisation. Big thank you to the Scumbags for helping us do the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series. We'll be getting more content with the Scumbags in the future. Big shout out to anybody who has taken part in the videos, really means a lot. If you enjoy this video, leave a like, comment, any suggestions that for games you want to see me cover. I can't talk today. If we can get this video to 10 likes, I'll be made up. If we can get to 80 subscribers, there's a game that I want to play for a video that if we get to 80, you have to find out what it is. So with all that said, let's jump straight into the video. Thanks guys, enjoy. 2020's Avengers on paper is a good concept, it's just poorly executed. From the first initial reveal of the game, people were already skeptical of it, with criticisms pointing towards the structure and quality of the game. I myself had low expectations, but I wanted to wait until we got more information about how the game would look and feel. I'm not going to lie to you, when it came out, I did have the time of my life with it, and I would argue that this game is why I have such a stance on live service experiences, something which the likes of Overwatch 2 and Suicide Squad have greatly amplified. To expand on this more, I'd like to state that I'm a huge fan of this story, or at least some elements of it. It had me invested from the beginning to the end, but that's about it. Everything else just sucked beyond belief. For anybody that knows me knows I am a huge Avengers fan. I grew up with the different individual cartoons for each hero, and when the MCU began and introduced us to these heroes, it certified for me that this is a group that are arguably one of the best out there. To see these heroes treated in this way for this world, it just hurts. Like, really hurts. This game should not have been live service. It should have been what Guardians of the Galaxy was. It was a single player game with an absolute boss story, well-written characters, and I'd argue that if we got Guardians before Avengers, they'd have been created in a similar style. Marvel's Avengers bombed so hard, and sadly this went on to affect Guardians of the Galaxy's performance, with the latter being the overall better experience. Square Enix haven't made a Marvel game since, and with the upcoming Black Panther and Iron Man game being developed and released by EA, I would assume they no longer have a stake in the Marvel IP. Avengers would go on to release 3 updates focusing on the progression of the story, as well as 6 free characters: Kate Bishop, Hawkeye, Black Panther, Jane Foster, Winter Soldier, and Spider-Man. Black Panther came with the War for Wakanda expansion, and Spider-Man was a PlayStation exclusive, a decision that would annoy the players who did not own Avengers on PlayStation. But if I'm gonna be honest, it's for the best that you did not get him, because he was absolutely busted and he just didn't get any better for the foreseeable future. It's one of the few games where I'm playing as Spider-Man and I genuinely think to myself, you somehow made Spider-Man not fun at all to play as. Like, this was 2 years after Insomniac's Spider-Man. The bar's already been set and you just weren't topping that level of thwip at all. The game starts off with Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Black Widow, Ms. Marvel and Hulk as your team, and the story begins with Kamala arriving at the Avengers event, taking part in a story competition that eventually leads to her meeting her favourite heroes. San Francisco is then under attack and chaos ensues, levelling half of the city and turning the public against the heroes. Taskmaster has arrived and distracted the Avengers long enough for shit to go down, and now the public dub the events of this day A-Day. And not only did our heroes become blacklisted in the eyes of everyone, but our lovable Captain America has supposedly perished in the Chimera's destruction. Kamala becomes infected with an energy supply known as Terrigen and has become an Inhuman, along with many others who have been kidnapped by the newly created AIM, led by George Tarleton, aka MODOK, who is the main villain of this game. She discovers a conspiracy against the Avengers and is racing against the clock to stop AIM and help the Avengers restore their legacy and become the heroes they once were, while also discovering her own destiny. Now, from the get-go, this game looks amazing. The PS5 version isn't really that different from the PS4 version, aside from frame rate improvements and better loading times. I'm a bit of a frame rate snob when it comes to the current system specifications. If it's got the power there at hand, it should absolutely have a higher frame rate and overall run better and improve the experience. The story, as mentioned before, is easily the best thing about the game. It starts off as a solid single player experience that then starts to slip into multiplayer territory and becomes super formulaic and grindy. If there is one live service game that I can liken it to, it's Destiny. Enemy levels, health bars and loot are what drives this game. What could have been a fun way of customizing our heroes with unique looks and unique armor pieces, it's instead given to us in just reskinned invisible gear that does not affect the cosmetic appearance of the hero you're playing as. The costumes for this game are pretty cool, to give it credit, despite before shutting down having a hefty price tag. Like, if you look at some of the MCU skins for this game, you'd be looking at, like, for each individual one, they're at least £16. That's a lot of money. When they ended support, all the costumes were pretty much made free. All the MCU ones, that's how I ended up with all of these skins. There are some reskins that are still locked, but they're ones that you can earn through the game rather than having to drop money on them. It absolutely irks me that this game was just a generic live service shooter, looter experience. The story was great, but despite me singing its praises, it's not enough for me to look past the glaring issues that this game has. First off, the writing is super hit and miss. MODOK could give you this boss monologue, and you'd find yourself really feeling sympathy for him and actually thinking, no, do you know what? I get it. A lot of shit's gone on in your life, and I get it. I get why you have this stance against people in power. But then you'd have Ms. Marvel being super emotional, having this really character-defining moment where she doesn't know if she's made the right decision, looking for the Avengers, whether she should have just turned herself in. She's going through all these different emotions. She's going from crying to then being immediately cheerful and forgetting that she was upset. The biggest issue with it is inconsistency, and there were so many moments throughout where that played a big hand in the quality of the writing. Ms. Marvel in this game honestly annoys the hell out of me. The cast are really good in this game. You've got Nolan North as Tony Stark, you've got Troy Baker as Bruce Banner, you've got Travis Willingham as Thor, and you've got Laura Bailey as Widow. These actors understood the assessment. My favourite is Troy Baker as Bruce. There were certain moments where he was just like Joel from The Last of Us, and he just nails Bruce's mannerisms. It honestly surprises me that he has not played Bruce more outside of this iteration of the character, and if we ever get another Marvel game with the Avengers somewhere down the line, then I hope Troy Baker comes back because he's fantastic.
I've spent a lot of time as the big guy. So what you did back there took a lot of guts. Stupid. But it still took guts. All right, coming back. Almost done, kiddo.
And let's not forget we've got Christopher Judge as T'Challa. There were so many moments where you hear a war cry and he was just so Kratos coded. You've got Jeff Shine as Steve Rogers, who's a good choice too. He was also the voice of Carlos in the remake of Resident Evil 3, and he was the voice of Chris Redfield in Resident Evil Village. And we've also got Darren DePaul as the Hulk. Dude just lives and breathes Reinhardt.
You think the radiation is what sickened me? No! It was our inevitable failure. Destiny's unforgiving hand, beating us to the ground.
So that's a no on the sample then, huh?
Before I forget, the boss fights. So the main bosses in the game are Taskmaster, Abomination, MODOK, and Monica. They're like the main ones. They're like the ones that you will encounter the most throughout the game. Once you beat the main game, you just get recycled boss fights of Abomination, Taskmaster, and sometimes Monica. There are different modifiers in these missions that may ramp up the difficulty, but that just depends on your power level. I mentioned earlier about the gear system and how it works. It's all invisible gear. It just doesn't affect the hero you play as cosmetically. That comes across as lazy. You have games like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Hogwarts Legacy, Skyrim, and even Destiny that allows you to change the look of individual gear pieces to give you a level of customization and really mix and match the different sets. The gear you equip levels your power up to a maximum of 150, but the problem with this progression system is it's a slog and it is not rewarding in any way. You have skills that you can unlock which are truly what makes the characters feel powerful and makes them like the characters that you recognize. And remember, from the get-go, you don't feel like each member of the team you're playing as. It's only when you begin making progress on the gear and skills you actually feel like one of Earth's mightiest heroes. On the PS4 version of this game back in 2020, I managed to get hold to power 150, and I just didn't have it in me to grind the others to 150. I really was only locked in enough to fully level up one hero, and this is where the game started to lose me when it first came out. Grinding in games is something I'm really not a fan of. I'm here to enjoy myself and experience something that people worked hard on. If you enjoy this kind of gameplay, then hats off to you. I really hope you vibe with it. But for me, this game all around is a mess and just not the true Avengers experience that the fans wanted. It was a step in the right direction, but corporate greed was the priority and not the audience. As mentioned earlier, there is a Black Panther game in development at EA, there is an Iron Man game in development at EA. We're also getting a Black Panther Captain America game from Skydance Studios, which looks incredible. Insomniac are handling all things Spider-Man and X-Men, and I can't wait to see what they cook up with Wolverine. Hopefully we get something this year on it, but I don't mind waiting, because those leaks really did a number. So even if we don't get it this year, as long as I know it's coming and that they're working really hard on it, which I don't doubt, I'm happy. And with the success of Marvel Rivals, who knows what will happen with the Marvel IP? We can only wait in anticipation for now. What did you guys think of Marvel Avengers? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Or did you just think it was okay? Sound off below, let me know, and as always, leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching, everybody. I will see you all in the next one.